Hello everyone, we're back and playing more Ruby Storm today. In particular, we're playing my Jeskai build. So if you checked out the last video, this is going to be pretty similar as far as deck lists go. A couple of small changes. One, I'm playing a Mind Collapse in the sideboard. I feel like there's an increased prevalence of Magebane Lizard, and Mind Collapse deals with that fairly nicely. Other than that, I just switched around like one fetch, Mire over Tarn, maybe better bluff that we are like energy if we are, if we reveal Jegantha and then play a Mire. I still like the Preordains. I think these are going to end up in the deck longer term. That's my called shot. We'll see if I'm right or not. But yeah, Strike It Rich, still hate it. Still just trying the one to make sure I get the exposure to it, but this card is definitely something that I'm looking to cut. Silence over Veil. Because Silence is good in the mirror or against combo decks in general. Veil, not so much. Veil is probably it's not even necessarily a little bit better against counter magic, because like Silence can stop stuff like Surgical, Subtlety, whatever. And Veil, while very good in the situations it is good, is perhaps a little bit less flexible, I think. So Silence for that reason. Other than that, normal Ruby Storm stuff. Let's get into a league. Okay, in round number 1, we have revealed our Jegantha, and we are on the draw against a Lutri deck, which is very interesting. You don't see a lot of that. We have double Preordained, so we can probably find a second land. We have our Ral, we have a little bit of business. This hand is a little bit clunky, but I think it's still good enough to keep. So, Lutri. Probably like just the general... Is it like value wizardsy type stuff? But maybe it will be something different. I'm going to go get a Steam Vents, and then I'm going to play a Preordain. So Ruby is potentially interesting. Valakut, I don't think I want. There's a chance our Ral dies. I will take the Ruby for that reason. Or if they tap out, then I can reasonably safely resolve the Ruby. Okay, they go for a Jace. Play a Bauble, and they Bauble us, so we can see what they see. Nice thing about playing against the Lutri deck, that they're not too likely to have Force and Negation, and they saw our Ren's Resolve, so they know what is coming. We'll just jam that Ruby, get it in play. I mean, if things go really right, we could potentially get there next turn, but I'll probably just lead a Ren's Resolve and make decisions based on that. They're looting with this Jace. So, different name. Okay, they ditch the Blood Moon. That's not going to be the best against us. And what do they got? They've got a Ragavan. Okay, but they're hard casting it. They're not. Okay, and then a Tamio. Okay, they could certainly have various forms of 1-mana interaction here. But, we're probably going to try here. Now, if they have Pierce, we get beat a little bit. But I think it's still worth burning the Desperate and then going with like a Ren's Resolve and then trying to go from there. Past in Flames, Flame of Nor. Not the best. I'm going to go for another Ren's Resolve. We hit a Mountain and a Pyretic. That's a lot better. So we'll go Mountain, go Pyretic. Now we could Piff down to 2, or we could Ral Piff, and that's going to be mana neutral, so I like that. And yeah, alright, so I like Ral Piff. So they Stern Scolding the Ral. Okay, a little bit annoying, but ultimately I think it's okay. So we can Piff here, and we have 2 Rituals and then some Ren's Resolves on the back end. So we'll go for a Pyretic. Ren's Resolve first. Another Ruby. Have another Ren's Resolve. Desperate Ritual. Could wheel our hand with Valakut, which I think I like doing. The other option is like play another Ruby. I could also wish, but what do I get if I get wish? And I could wish for like Grape Shot. So if I wish for Grape Shot, I could like kill Ragavan and then do a bunch to them. Next turn, land, flame something. Or do I just Valakut? So if I Valakut, what am I really hoping to hit? I need to hit mana. I've burned 2 rituals already. I need to hit mana and business. I think the odds of that are low enough that I'm more comfortable wishing here. And then the choice is going to be how much am I targeting various creatures here. I think I actually probably want to largely wipe the board. So we'll target 1 on Ragavan, 2 on Jace, 3 on Tamio, and then 6 on my opponent. Here we go. So they're down to, you know, two cards in hand. I mean, we're winning the card advantage game here, so that's something. And we do have some interesting choices next turn. Okay, so they skip. Go to our turn. I'm going to play the Foothills. I'm going to get a Steam Vents, I think. I don't think our life total is that likely to matter. And I could Ruby. I'm going to Metamorphose first. Add red, blue. So I could Flame here out of the sideboard. Alternately, I could like Ruby Valakut out of the sideboard, draw 4. Have 2 mana up. If I hit a ritual, that's pretty good because then things are going to the yard. I think I like that. Yeah, I think I like that. So I'll play the Ruby. I mean, maybe they counter, but if they counter, they counter. Okay, we can go for Valakut Awakening. Chip 3, look for ritual. We don't find one. We do find like an Impulse and a Ren's Resolve, but I think I would rather play the Flame of Anora because that's going to go away this turn. If I find a ritual, it's still not enough anymore. I'd have to find like double ritual. I think the odds of that are pretty low. So I'll draw 2 myself. Blue, red. And yeah, we should have it next turn. I guess the only threat is if there's like, I mean, Bolt Snap Bolt is still not even good enough, right? They have Dress Down, that doesn't really matter, so they're just cycling it. And by Bolt Snap Bolt, I mean like the same Bolt back, because obviously they're a Lutri deck. Alright, so we go to our turn. We're going to have a pile of spells here. Reckless Impulse first. Hit a Desperate Ritual, we'll play that. More Reckless Impulse. Ordained Flame of Anor. We've got another Ren's Resolve now. So we have 4 mana. We could Piff. They could have a counter here, which is partly what I was trying to avoid. Let's play this this Morphos. You can add red, red. I have 2 Steam Vents untapped for blue. Ruby, not a good draw. Alright, so if I Piff for 3, they counter. I can try to keep going with like Preordain Ren's Resolve, or at the very least maybe set up for the next turn. Alright, so I'll go for the Piff. Kind of expect this to get countered, but we might as well make them use it. Cryptic command? Could be a cryptic command. That'd be an interesting one. What else could it be? 4 mana that they feel like they need to play. Yeah, it's cryptic command. Okay. All right, so we kind of expected that. So we'll go for a Preordain. Pyretic and Ral are both pretty good. So if I keep both in top, yeah. And then if I Pyretic, Ren's Resolve, we hit the Ral, we Ral, we hit another Pyretic, perfect. Lost the flip, but that's okay. We have Strike It Rich. Lost the flip again. We can then flash back the Strike It Rich because we have so much reduction that it's just mana neutral. Lost the flip again. Okay, sure. We've got Flame of Venor. We'll draw 2 cards. Oh man, lost the flip again. What is that, like 5 in a row? I could piff here to try to flip. If I hit that, I mean, yeah, it's 50-50 to basically just win the game on the spot. I think that's worth it. We lost 6 flips in a row. All right, I mean, yeah, that's gonna happen. The odds of that are pretty low. What, 1 flip, 2 flips 25, 3 12.5, 4 6.75, 5 3.375, and then 6 is like 1.8 or something, so some approximately 1.8%. That being said, I think we're still in a decent position. We have a piff in our yard and enough mana to cast it, but if this piff gets countered, then I would say we're maybe in trouble. Not in trouble, we're just like neutral, I guess. Wooded Foothills, Thundering Falls. There's no more fetchable lands, so there's no point in playing any of that yet. So I'll play that. Okay, now I'll play the Sacred Foundry. I am going to shock. My life total is not at risk here, and I'm just going to work my way up for a Grape Shot. Excuse me, Metamorphose. Okay, so they scoop it up. Alright, so we're up a game over Lutri. I'm interested in Silence here. Is there anything else I'm interested in? I expect more stack-based interaction. I'll trim like a Flame, a Strike It Rich, Counter Magic. We could trim a Piff, and maybe 1 more Flame of Venor for being a little bit slow. They could have artifacts and stuff that we're going to want to kill. Could be a Wish. Yeah, we could go like this. I think this has the potential to go a little bit longer as a game, so I don't mind just having the flames. We are on the draw, predictably. Hand is like decent. 4 lands, Ren's Resolve, Ruby. So we'll keep. I'm not like super excited about it, but if they tap for something on turn 2, like a Jace or whatever, I would say it's pretty okay. Preordain, off haul, yeah, it's fine. You can Surveil on 1. Flame's a decent pickup. Parlor, I will bin the Path. I was about to say Past in Flames, I was about to say Piff, and it turned into Path. Get value out of that being in the yard potentially. We do have to be a little bit aware that we have both of our Past in Flames, so we don't want to like completely run out, but Pest and Flames is just a good tool for grinding against control, so I don't mind. Here with the draw of the second Ruby, I'll jam a Ruby into this. I mean, maybe they're holding up like Spell Piercer, Spell Snare, but they can only have one of each. Tune the Narrative is not a big deal. They could have Artifact Removal. Energy off of a Lutri deck is interesting. How many, like, there's like not enough good energy cards, maybe? Oh, are they Jeskai? We just didn't see that. Unless we saw it and I forgot. No, I don't think they're Jeskai. They have a Dash Dragavan. That makes sense. Get a treasure. They ate a Silence of ours, which is kind of fine for us because, oh, and they Brazen Borrower the Ruby. All right, not the worst. So we'll play the Mire. We'll play the Ruby. We could play Ral here. I think I'd rather just Surveil and try to hit like a Ritual. Yeah, so we'll just go like this. In the Flooded Strand, they could certainly clock us with the Ragavan again. Yeah. What are we taking? 2. And then they get another Silence. So they've hit 2 of our Silences. That's a little bit crazy. Do they have another answer to Ruby? Oh, they have Murktide. Okay, that's fine. So Ragavan's going back to hand. I'll Surveil. Thundering Falls. Don't need another mountain. And hopefully we draw a Ritual. Oh, perfect. Okay, Ritual. That's good. So we have some options. I like, so 4, 6 mana. Piff is not really going to be good yet. We have 3 spells. I don't feel the need to lead on Ral and expose it. So with that in mind, I think I'm going to lead on a Ritual. Again, we can see if they counter, and they don't. Now I'm going to fetch to get this, or to get the deck a little bit thinner. Ren's Resolve. We hit a Ren's Resolve and a Silence. So we could Ren's Resolve again. So we've spent 2 spells for Ral so far. Depending on what we hit off of this, like ideally we hit a Ritual. Okay, good. And now we could like Silence, Ritual. We Silence, we then Ritual up to 4, Piff down to 1, Ritual. We should be good. So yeah, I like Silence here. Okay, that happens. Then Desperate Ritual happens. The only, yeah, okay, so then we have Piff out of our hand. We're still holding up the blue for like Flame of Anor, which I like. We could Ral first because it is mana neutral to Ral first, so let's do that. Then we can Piff. Lost the flip. So with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we are good to flip Ral at any time. If we hit, if we ever roll a coin flip that we can win, and our opponent scoops it up. I mean, yeah, they're dead there. I guess I could miss every flip, but surely that wouldn't happen a second time. Well, a nice quick 1-0 over Lutri. This deck is definitely cool. But it just kind of feels like it puts a lot less pressure on than like maybe like the Frogtide deck or anything like that. Ultimately a little bit of a different deck, but yeah. All right, round number 2 coming up in a second. All right, so we are once again on the draw, having revealed our Gigantha. Our hand here is pretty solid. Our opponent also a Gigantha deck. I'm gonna keep this and probably Surveil on 1. Opponent could be Storm. Foothills is looking even more like Storm. We pick up a ruby. So I'm gonna bet that they don't have a turn 2, and maybe we can go for a turn 2, hopefully. Xander's Lounge. Okay, so maybe not Storm. I guess it could still be in theory, but I think it's a lot less likely to be. Gigantha with Xander's Lounge. Oh, it could be Zoo. It's probably Zoo. So this could be tapping for a creature, which I would like. I would definitely like that. Yeah, Kavu, that's fine. And we will Surveil. Thundering Falls, because we have no main deck white cards. Morphos is good, I'll take that. Now, I could go for it here. If I do, what would it look like? It would look like Ritual, Ruby, Ritual, Ral. Have 2 mana, 2 draws to make something happen. That feels a little bit too dicey, maybe. I'd like just one more draw step. I mean, they could have Leyline Binding here, but if they do, I don't think it's a catastrophe. So we still have the Ral. We get our extra mana developed, so we're not as tight on mana. Have an extra draw for turn. We're not under like immediate life total threat either. And what could they have? They could hold up Stub. Stub would be a little annoying, but it's that's something that can be played through also. So, or on the risk. Best case, they just like tap for another Kavu or something. They ditch a Bowmasters. Interesting. Feels like then they have a Bowmasters in hand already. Bowmasters is, it's not great against us, but it's not the worst. We do have Morphos. If we get kind of low, it can potentially finish us off. But okay, so they do have the binding for the Ruby. They could definitely have Bolt for Ral, and I mean maybe they would get us here. We do that, we can try and play in response and flip the Ral though. Actually, no, we can't because we don't have enough land. So that's a little bit of an interesting point. Do we Ral here into removal? I think no, because if they hit us with the Kavu, we go to 9. Even if they Bowmasters, we'd go, or so if they Bowmasters us to 13 and then hit us for 7, we go to 6. A Tribal Flames is not enough. Although if they do have the Bolt in hand for the Ral, then that is enough. Okay, so maybe we do play the Ral, force them to not like put a Bowmasters in play. We do have to Steam Vents for it, but that saves us 1 life. The Bolt would have to go on the Ral, and then yeah, and then we get to like, so we Morphos, and then we Reckless Impulse if they kill the Ral, and hopefully find another thing for next turn. It feels like they're going to have removal. Why would, I mean, I read them also as having a second Bowmasters though, because I'm not sure why you'd bin Bowmasters there and then not play another threat. I mean, it's possible that they just have like a heavily reactive hand, but I'm kind of making this play so that they can't play like second Bowmasters. We would like to, no, we can't have Ral back from the graveyard. I'm joking, but yeah, we'll do red blue, Reckless Impulse. We hit another Ral and a Piff, so that's excellent, assuming we get another turn, which I guess they could have like double Tribal Flames or Bolt plus Tribal Flames or something, in which case then sure, they wanted it more. That was a very good hit with the Reckless Impulse. They dump a Scion. All right. They could have like stub. That would be not ideal. Just a 7. Land. Passing. Okay. Passing with 4 mana up. It's definitely Bowmasters, but then what is it besides Bowmasters? Okay. So I will Mountain because I don't want to expose my or lower my life total too much. Then here I'm going to go Pyretic. And if they try and kill it, we get 2 shots at flipping. They had Bolt. I think I read them as having Tribal Flames, so I feel like they would have used it. So I don't think they actually have Bolt. They could have another Leyline Binding. I think they would have probably used it there. Unless they're going for it now that we didn't flip. Oh, okay, now they're going for Bolt. So they were maybe going to want to try to Bolt us. So I'll Desperate Ritual. Won the flip. So I will use it here. If they, well, yeah, I don't want to get my life total too low. Although I think if they had a second removal, they would have used it. Yeah, but I think we're likely enough from this spot that I don't mind flipping the Ral. And the question is, do they have removal for this? I mean, what do I read? I read them as having Bowmaster. Maybe it's Bowmasters plus stub. That would be a little annoying, but honestly, I'd rather them stub one of these. Yeah, Bowmasters plus stub makes sense given what they played with, or how they played so far. So now they're thinking about stubbing this Piff. We have to remember to use the plus on the Ral first. Now I don't think... Well, maybe they're thinking they're going to choke us on mana and then we can't cast the Piff. But if we do Piff, yeah, like if we Piff, then they can just counter the Piff. So that's kind of whatever. All right. So if we Piff, we go down to 3. We can Morphos up to 4. Hit something else. Yeah, I'm going to Morphos first, I think. I'll add red-blue. What do they have? They have a Bowmasters. That's okay. I mean, it does a damage to us. 2 damage, really. But yeah, so I think it was important to flip the Ral and not take more damage. So we'll add blue and red. We pick up a Desperate Ritual, which is actually pretty good because it means we do get to use this Piff on both sides if they have a stub. So we can beat stub from here. Yes, all right. So definitely called what they had there. And then we can Piff. Now they're out of cards. So the only thing is we can only draw 3 more cards because of this Bowmasters. So we have Pyretic. We also, it's probably just too dangerous to use another Ral, period. So we're not guaranteed to get there, but I think we're pretty likely. Reckless Impulse. We have 4 draws here. Ren's Resolve is a good pickup. Now Flame of an Ore does make other things live, which is nice. We hit a Ruby. We also did another Reckless Impulse. So I could... Well... Alright, let me play the Reckless Impulses while I sort of have the choice. Wish is excellent, because now I can just go get Grape Shot and win. I'll play the Ruby first, because there's kind of no downside. And now we've got Grape Shot, and that's going to be the game. All right, so a little bit tense. They kind of had a lot of interaction. Binding 2 bolts, stub, and a Bowmasters. We did still manage to get through it all. So against Zoo, I mean, Silence can stop either binding if it's played reactively, or it can stop stub. So Silence is okay, actually. Flood Maw is also okay. I think I want maybe like 2 Silence, 3 Flood Maw, or something like that. Flame is potentially a little bit slow. Strike It Rich. This is a matchup where we want some speed, especially on the draw. We'll cut a Piff. We can cut maybe another Flame. Yeah, maybe it's just like more Flames for being slow. And a Wish. Go like this. I mean, Flame is nice in that it can be like removal, but yeah, I think I like something like this. On the play, I'm more likely to maybe bring a Flame back in. Got the Gigantha Reveal. And we've got the No-Lander. I'd say it's actually like kind of close as a No-Lander, because Valakut Awakening is a land. We have like some business, we have some mana, we have a Wish. So if we were to find a second land, the Preordain then becomes live and probably can try and find us our business piece. But I think this is just too likely to fall flat on its face. I'm gonna mulligan. This hand is better. I'm gonna ship the Flood Maw versus Silence. I think I'm going to ship the Flood Maw and try to like win on the same turn with Silence, like play my reducer on the same turn that I win. Opponent kept 7. They have Leyline. Double Leyline. Okay. And double Leyline is kind of useless. So they kind of are on a Mulda 5, but it's not a real Mulda 5. Then they have Ragavan. Alright, good stuff. So makes my Surveil with Elegant Parlor a little bit worse. I can... Yeah, I'm going to play Wooded Foothills, and then I'm going to get a Thundering Falls on the end step, so I do still get to capitalize on my Surveil. And then next turn I can, like, potentially use Preordain plus Surveil or something like that, and try and go on 3 if I find the pieces. Alright, so Ragavan going to hit us. Question is, what do they hit? There's not really very many good hits that they could have. Wish, I mean, they can't really do a lot with that with only 3 mana. It's a little bit annoying to have a Wish exiled. That's actually a problem, because now I only have 1 Wish left in my deck. But can't do anything about it. Just need to hope they don't hit another. Go Thundering Falls. And we'll keep a Ruby, yeah. Definitely want a Ruby. So I'm going to Surveil first. If there's a card like I really want, I can leave it on top. Don't need that. Preordain. So we can like Silence Ritual, Ruby. Well, we don't need another Silence. I don't think we want a Flame of Anor either. Well, if I passed again, I don't know if I have that much time though. Can I let this Ragavan just go unchecked for a couple more turns? Maybe. So like they hit me to 15. They didn't have another creature. Yeah, I will actually keep this Flame, I think. It is business. So I'm figuring, yeah, maybe I mean, it'll be 2 more hits from the Ragavan, which I don't love, but Didn't have anything to do with 3 mana, so it just suggests that they have like a much more interactive hand. They could have a Bowmasters here, but then they wouldn't be fetching the Surveil. Been another Ragavan. Hopefully they just hit like, I don't know, Silence. Well, Silence we know is on the bottom. So hopefully they just hit like Ritual. Something they can't use. Preordain. That's like the only thing that they can use in the deck. So, I mean, sure, I guess. Those go to our yard, which could be relevant for a Past in Flames later, although not likely, given we already have a Preordain in there. They sent 2 to the bottom. Temple Garden. So they're 3 for 3 on land drops. They could definitely have land in their hand. I like that they didn't like the cards that they saw. Mountain. Okay, this does let us like Ruby, Silence, Ruby, Ritual. So this is something that has some play to it. So I'll keep this. Or I'll not keep this, I'll pass. And we're going to go for the draw from Flame on the end step. Or if they like play a Damping Sphere or something, not to jinx us, then we can at least blow it up and have a chance at top decking. We have a ton of mana and still they're not doing anything with it. They hit a Past in Flames. Again, a little bit annoying that they're hitting our business. We only have 1 Piff and 1 Wish left. Certainly they won't cast that. It is at least useless as far as Ragavan goes. Another land. Maybe they're flooding. Hopefully they're flooding. I would like to actually see like a creature now, probably. But I feel like they definitely have Leyline Binding. Okay, they put Gigantha to hand. I like that a lot. And it's a little bit hard for them to like stub this here. I mean, they can, but are you gonna stub and then let me untap and go off? No, yeah. All right, let's go to our turn. Preordain. Decent pickup. We have a bunch of business now. So I lead on Silence. And then we've got Ruby, Ritual, Ren's Resolve, Morphos, and hopefully get there. Again, only 1 Past in Flames, so something to be aware of. They're probably thinking about if they're going to stub this. I guess they could also play a Bowmasters. We have a decent amount of life, though. I'm not super worried about Bowmasters. The Flame was a very good 2 cards. Because again, we're turning off Binding, we're turning off Bolt, any of that. They might like Bolt our face. Okay, no, looking like it is a Bowmasters. It means they would have had to draw it this turn. Oh, it could be Cling to Dust, actually. Do they even play Cling? Oh, they're Surgicaling Preordain. I mean, okay. They do get a Preordain here, which is pretty annoying. Because there's 2 in the yard. Is it still the right thing for them to Surgical? Probably. Yeah. So maybe I should have Upkeep Silenced, force action faster so I don't draw the Preordain. I guess. Alright, well, what's happening? We've got Ruby. We've got 3 looks at some cards that do things. We've got Pyretic. So I'll Ren's Resolve first. Just because I don't want to burn this Desperate unless I have to. We had a Desperate and a Ren's Resolve. Okay, not bad at all. Ren's Resolve again. More mana. Okay, good. So we'll cast a Desperate. We do have to hit with these 2 mana Morphoses, though. So I'm going to cast and Splice with this Desperate. So even more mana. Now we've got Morphos. So our Preordains are gone. 3 Flame of Venors are on the board. So I shouldn't need blue really at all. I don't really need white either. Okay, well, it's all down to this Metamorphose. Oh man, 2 lands in a row. Rough times. We're gonna have to pass. And I mean, our ruby probably gets removed, and we're probably gonna lose now. We had a bunch of looks and just kind of didn't find anything. We found a little bit, but you know, it didn't chain into, I don't know, a wish or, you know, any further card draw. And there's only 1 wish left, only 1 piff left. So our odds are not the best from that spot. Desperate Ritual, that's a fine one for them to hit. I certainly didn't want to draw it. I expect this ruby to get removed. Unless they have like Bolt, Tribal Flames or something, that'd be crazy. Oh, they're casting, why would they cast that? I could have actually bought and played the Jegantha. That's a mistake. I should have done that. I still never remember Jegantha. So they're playing their Jegantha, it looks like. That's fine. Yeah, I was just figuring, yeah, I was basically assuming we were just dead anyway. But I should not have. Oh, 5, 6, 7. I fetch here. I mean, in theory we could get there. Maybe we're not dead. I think we're definitely dead, though. Yeah, I mean, even... I expect it's just going to be swing 7 and bolt us, and then we die. It's like, what do I need their hand to be? I honestly need it to be, like, stub. Land. They hit a Tarn. Good. It's not a card that they can use. Okay. Alright, so they get us here. So game number 3, we're on the play. Surgical, I mean, I do like Silence for that. Little less into this Strike It Rich. Flood Maw felt like maybe not as critical, so maybe I bring back like a Flame. Go a little bit higher on business. I'm more interested in Silence too, honestly. So we'll keep one flame or one of those. We'll cut the Strike It Rich for Flame, and we'll do this. So Flame can hopefully answer anything that Flood Maw needs to answer, like a Damping Sphere. And then Silence, and we're gonna try and follow the same plan of like play it a little bit slower, silence, and go off in the same turn. This hand, I think, just doesn't do enough. I'm gonna mulligan that. This hand is also a mulligan. We don't have a second, or we have no mana. Opponent also mulliganed to 6. We mulled to 5. This is decent. I'll keep it. We can bottom the Wish and probably one of the Preordains. It's definitely slow as a hand, which is potentially bad, but maybe they'll mulligan again. Their 6 seems a little bit iffy. No, they kept it. All right, so I'm going to keep this. Get rid of Wish and Preordain. And we've got turn 1, Shockin, Steam Vents, and Preordain. No Leyline. Okay, so Ruby is good. Bloodstained I will also accept. Probably I have to play this Ruby out, and if it gets bindinged, it gets bindinged or stomped or whatever. It's like, what's my plan if I don't play the Ruby out? Like, surveil, hold up flame the next turn? Maybe. No, I think I'm willing to risk this running the Ruby out. I'm kind of playing the same game if I don't run the Ruby out of like, okay, we're holding up flame, or like we're playing Reckless Impulse. And this means it's like something they kind of need to answer, so they're answering us rather than developing a clock. And given that the game is going to be slowed down a little bit, I need them to not develop a clock. Because now, like, okay, they spend mana answering this, and then I can like Reckless Impulse, get a Surveil land, and then Flame on the next turn, you know. And it's like one less turn of taking 5 from a Kavu or whatever. Could like Dash or Agavan or something. Could have a... And is it Stomp? Unless they're just like thinking about playing Ragavan. Okay, they do have Stomp. Where? I mean, that's what I mean. I don't know why I said Stomp. It looks like a foot. Is it a foot? I'm not sure. Friends Resolve. All right, so here we are going to Reckless Impulse. We hit a Ruby and a Piff. Not bad. We'll get a Surveil. We can play the Ruby next turn. The Piff might be going away. What do they have? They've got Damping Sphere. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's going to happen. We have the flame for it. So the Piff is definitely going away. We'll get the Thundering Falls. I will actually just keep another land. We can get a mountain here, I think. And now if we Ruby, we can flame on their turn to kill the sphere. And then we have one Ren's Resolve as our all of our business, but it can start a chain, maybe. Maybe. They have, I mean, they're a little bit limited on land. Let's see what else they have. Full guide. Yeah, I mean, we're probably not really on the Piff plan or on the graveyard plan because our Piff was already one of our Piffs is already gone, so we only have one left. They're hitting our Preordain. That's fine. They probably can't play anything else this turn, so they had like all of the hate. Almost wanted to like draw 2 with the flame, but I think that's a little bit too deep. We'll destroy the sphere. They can't stub. They played a card already, and they don't have blue mana anyway. Go to our turn. I will remember Jegantha to hand here, potentially. They have Leyline Binding on the Ruby. They have all of the hate. They really do. Alright, draw for turn. Desperate Ritual. So I could Ren's Resolve here. I could just put Jegantha in hand. And then like next turn Ritual Jegantha, potentially. It's not the worst. What else am I doing? You know, I could Ren's Resolve, but... Wait, why is my Jegantha not here? Oh no, it comes from here. There we go. That's what happens. I always look at my sideboard. Alright. Yeah, I mean, they still haven't played a clock. They could definitely have another Leyline Binding. But we'll see. Mountain. Avu, maybe? They have a Ragavan. They're just hard casting it. They're not dashing. Alright, I'd rather see that, honestly, than see it get dashed. Silence kind of bad here. Yeah, our game plan has just gone so far off the rails. So we ritual. And they don't sub it. And then we play Giganta. And maybe it gets Leyline Binding, but that's what we've got. I mean, do they really have like Damping Sphere, Wear Tear, Soul Guide, Leyline Binding, and Leyline Binding? Looks like yes, they do. They're going to get to hit us with the Ragavan. Unfortunate that we had to trade 2 cards into that. I would have actually liked to draw a land. So just we jam it without spending the card, but c'est la vie. Got a Scion. We get to Ren's Resolve, but we really don't have much time. The other question is, do I silence expecting them to have a stub? They hit a silence. That's good that we're not going to draw it. I'll Ren's Resolve. So if I like silence Ral, I don't flip it. I think I need to the silence next turn to protect a potential to protect like Ral for a potential combo. And this is just gonna have to pass. And now I need to draw business off the top. And then we get to try something with this Pyretic. We get to like silence Ral and then Pyretic into something. One of the, I guess the Impulse 2s would be like our best draw. Land, so they've got 2 mana or 2 cards left. Ragavan hits a Past in Flames, so our graveyard is just fully offline. Both Past in Flames are gone. And we can wish into a Past in Flames, I suppose, but with 2 Past in Flames gone and the Soul Guide Lantern, I'm just kind of expecting to have to win without our graveyard here. So it's not looking great. Definitely not looking great. So if they have Surgical, all right, so we'll try the Upkeep Silence them, just in case they have Surgical. They stub it. All right. Go to our turn. We have Wish. I mean, it's probably the best shot we're going to get, but it's not even enough because this is just 4 mana down to 2 mana. And what do I do with 2 mana? I could like Flame, blow up the Scion, draw some cards. I could Relay and die. I could Grape Shot for 4, kill Ragavan. None of these are particularly enticing options. But, I mean, we have to do something, so this is going to happen. Now, here's the part where they have, like, Bolt, and then we just die. But I guess if I flip the Ral... Tails, I won the flip. Okay, so let me think about this for a second, because if I flip the Ral, I could kill the Ragavan, but no, I can't do it yet. Okay, I assume if they had removal, they would have used it. So here we can wish. And then kind of what I'm thinking is interesting that they used that now. I'm pretty okay with that. But what I'm thinking basically is if they have nothing. Oh, they just have the Bolt now. All right, good stuff. Lost the flip, take a damage. So 6 storm count. We can go get Grape Shot. Hit 1 on Ragavan. 4 on the Scion. and both of us are top decking. Okay. There's a chance. Not a good chance, but there's a chance. So they're gonna like Jegantha to hand. What are they? They're surveilling? What are they doing? Okay, they're just surveilling. So it's gonna be Jegantha to hand. And then we need to start drawing like runner draw twos. Maybe. I don't know why they cracked their Soul Guide Lantern there. What did they expect us to get? We can't piff. Not enough mana. I mean, alright. Let's see. Did they bottom or top? They put Consign into the yard. Okay. And they drew a Kavu, so we have one turn. So Flame buys us a turn. Or Flame buys us time again because we can kill it. And they're putting Jegantha to hand. We have one Flood Maw in the deck. Okay, I mean, this is something that can do something. Friends. We hit a Elegant Parlor and a Ral, so we could chump with the Ral. Graveyard that. Playing the Ral, yeah, I mean, we have no other option. We just have to chump. And they do get to eat something from our yards. They probably get to eat our Grape Shot, which is pretty bad. And we still can win with Oracle if we start going off, but our options are running thinner and thinner. Also, how many Rals has this gone? 1, 2... Okay, just 2. I'm not even sure what we have to hit necessarily. It's got to be like some amazing series of runners. Oh, they looted. Oh. Oh no, they're exiling. Wait, they do both? I thought this was choose one. How did they exile and loot? They discarded... Oh no, they just didn't loot. For some reason I thought they discarded a Ragavan. Well, it's been a long, slow bleed out. Arid Mesa, play the Jegantha. What can we even hit here? It has to be like draw 2 into reducer draw 2. Yeah, it's got to be like like draw 2 into reducer draw 2, I think is our only real shot. That's not going to do it. We tried. A bit of a rough game. I mean, fizzling in game 2 there. Was it game 2? Yeah, fizzling in game 2. I think we were reasonably favored from that spot. And then game 3, all of the hate. But sometimes that happens. Round number 3 coming up in a second here. All right, so we are again on the draw, 3 for 3 on the draw in another Jegantha mirror. I don't love our list here, but if it's energy, I'm pretty okay with this. We can just continuously deploy reducers. If it's storm, I don't like our position as much. If it's zoo, I'm also kind of okay with it. Marsh Flats is not storm, so that's good. So we can surveil on 1. Okay, they've got Guide of Souls, so it is energy. I'm gonna play a Bloodstained Mire and pass. It's gonna be Ruby on our turn 2, and probably we're gonna need to win on turn 3 because Guide can be a fairly quick clock. Ral can contribute to that though. Amptraptor. That's usually honestly one of their less scary 2s, I feel like. I mean, if they hit something good, it's a problem, but like if they can also hit something, yeah, see they hit Flage and it's just bad. Oh, they do have the 3 energy for it. It's still bad though. It's just Lightning Helix. Okay, so they get to hit us for 1. We're going to surveil. Flame. So if I untap on 3, Ritual, Flame feels a little clunky. I think I'm going to graveyard it. And I'm going to fetch basic Mountain Thin. This way I probably don't have to take the 2 from the Steam Vents, so this probably saves me a life overall, because I'm not expecting this game to go to turn 4. And if... what do they got? They could just have removal for this, in which case maybe we go to turn 4, but then we can like play tap Steam Vents, play Ruby. So if they just play like a Johnny here, that's fine. They have a Ragavan. Okay. Not dashing it. Static Prison. Okay. That's honestly one of the worst sets of things that they could have had for us here, because we're going to get hit pretty heavily. So if let me count, yeah, so 3, 4, 5, we go to 9, and then they have 7 power in play. Impulse. So the question then is, can I win this turn? If I Ruby, Ritual, Ral, Reckless, there's a chance. There's definitely a chance. But I need to hit mana off this Reckless. Now, there is no mana yet. The alternative is I play Ruby, play a tap Steam Vents, they hit me for 7, and if they can find 2 more damage in some way, I'm dead. So if they have 2 creatures, if they have a bolt, yeah, I think I'm too likely to be dead. I think I need to go for it here. I could Reckless before Ral. What would that do for me? Potentially save me a life point. However, I guess I could flip Ral, in which case, if I flip Ral, I can see what I hit with this Reckless, and then either I wish Mind Collapse the Guide and shoot both of these with Ral, or yeah, okay. Or like plus it if I need the mana. No, I can't wish my... Alright, we'll see. Yeah, I can't wish Mind Collapse because I wouldn't have the 2 reducers. Lost the flip anyway. So we do hit Metamorphose. That is a key piece of this puzzle. Lost the flip. Well, I could add red, blue, and flame. Or I could add red, red. Wish, grape shot. I think I'm adding red, red. Okay, yeah, so then it's going to be wish. Lost the flip again. Go to 6. And yeah, so it's going to be grape shot, wipe their board. And I mean, we're alive. So 1 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 at their face. Lost the flip. Good stuff. Pass the turn. We do have Flame of Anor to kick off next turn, potentially. Although we have a very vulnerable Ral, which I don't like. Could just like play a creature that's not too relevant, and then maybe we just like get to flame it and draw 2. Oh, they have Flage. Well, yeah. They have an interesting question here. Are they going to shoot us or are they going to shoot Ral? They shoot us. Yeah, I mean, all right. They're figuring escape next turn, so we have to win this turn. We also have to immediately flip Ral. Piff is good. So Piff, we can like Ritual, Morphos. Yeah, it's just I have to flip in the first like 2 flips here. So I mean I would say we're 75% from this point, because I think if we flip, we're good. All right, Pyretic for all of the I don't know, all of the coins. Tails never fails. How many flips do we fail in a row there? That's crazy. I mean, we lost I think 5 flips the previous turn and then 2 flips that turn, right? So what did we lose flips on? We went Ruby, Ritual, Ral. So then Impulse, Morphos, Wish, Grape Shot, Piff, Ritual. Yeah, we lost 6 flips there. All right. Well, we're sideboarding against Energy. So Energy can play a lot of stuff. Flood Maw is the thing I'm most interested in. Could cut like, well, Flame is good. Well, cut 1 Piff, 1 Strike It Rich, 1 Wish, 1 Flame for being a little slow. Let's go like that. I'm expecting hate permanence in general. Yeah, we were 75% from that spot, and sometimes you low roll. And yeah, winning any flip earlier. Well, I don't know if I would have flipped him on the first 1 or 2. I might have won like the first 1. No, I didn't. I won none because I was like, I'll think about it if I win a flip, and then I never won a flip. And so we will keep this. Can Preordain on 1. Surveil on 2, probably. Could also Surveil on 1 here. I just want to get the Preordain in. If I find another Preordain, it's pretty good. That's not so good. We do have good business, but I'm expecting I mean, we need to find a reducer. So Surveil is going to happen. Reducer? Could it be a reducer? No, we're going to bin that. And then it's probably end step Flame draw, and then hope that that finds us a reducer, and between that and our draw steps. So they could certainly have like Raptor. Yep. And they'll get in some energy. Deafening Silence. Well, it's a good thing we have Into the Flood Maw. They hit us for 2, so they don't get to buff their thing yet. Mountain. I will play that because maybe I want this Bloodstain to be a Surveil. We're just going to end step draw with the Flame. Yeah, so we're going to need to kill that. Yeah, I would like to draw the cards, but we need to just kill it. All right. So they're pumping their own guide. Yes, that's fine. Okay, so they didn't have another land, notably, but that probably does mean that they have more hate, if I had to guess. So I don't like that much, really. I think I have 1 more turn here. I think I certainly do not have 2 turns, though. So we'll Surveil with this Thundering Falls. I mean, Flood Maw is good. Do I want a Ren's Resolve? Probably. Yeah, I'll keep Ren's. And then we're going to end step bounce the Deafening Silence, and then try next turn. Unless they have another hate piece. Maybe they have triple hate piece, you never know. They're doing nothing. That could be reprieve. That could be silence. Could be like hold up bolt for a Ral. Bolt would be kind of the best thing for us. Anything other than bolt and we're probably dead. So sometimes well, yeah. Yeah, I mean if it's like reprieve, we're just dead. See what we hit. We do hit a Ral. I mean that's a start. Now here's the part where like what they have 7 cards they're holding up mana. So nothing that we're going to lose here. I guess I could Ral, and then when they like remove it, I can Flood Maw, bounce the guide. Lost the flip. Are they gonna be a insane person and make us, or try to like kill us with our own Ral rather than just bolt the Ral on sight? Won the flip. Okay, so the question here is, do I flip? Cast 1, 2, 3 spells. What happens if I flip? I can bounce guide and kill these 2. I think I actually can't afford to flip. If they had bolt, I think they would have used it by now. So I think they don't have bolt. And what is my way of winning this game? My way of winning this game is Metamorphose draws me another spell, and then that's 6 spells. So I will not use this ability. We'll get blue, and blue makes Preordain and Flame live. Reckless Impulse is something we need here. So we can rest, or a Desperate Ritual. Lost the flip. I mean, sure. That's, I think it's just 100% wrong to not bolt the Ral there, and they have it. Okay. Sure. Sometimes your opponent misplays and probably wins anyway. I mean, what would we have drawn? Yeah, like if we have 1 mana. What was the situation? We had, let me go back a couple seconds. So we had the Morphos. So when we were ritualing, we had the Morphos, a Reckless Impulse, and 1 other card in our hand. If we had, and we're down to our last mana playing the ritual, if they bolt the Ral there, we go down to 1 mana. We have 3 mana. What do we do with that 3 mana? And is it no cards in hand? So we drew an Impulse. No, wait. So wait, we had Ren's Resolve. We drew the Impulse off the Morphos. So our hand was Morphos land. We had 2 cards in hand, and yeah, we had 2 cards in hand, no mana floating, ritual on the stack, Ral in play. If they bolt the Ral at that point, we have 2 cards in hand and 3 red mana. How can we win from that position, right? We have to have another reducer, okay? But then what 1 card can we play? Okay, maybe we have a Morphos. So if we have exactly reducer Morphos, and then the Morphos draws into what? What does the Morphos have to draw into? I guess we could draw into a draw 2. In theory, there's a chain there. That being said, in practice, that chain is, I think, low enough chances that, like, leaving the Ral in play more time gives us more chances at winning that game. I think that's just definitely wrong not to bolt the Ral there. But sometimes it happens. All right, round number 4. Not going so great so far. Okay, so we've revealed our Gigantha. We have some reducers and a pyretic. I will keep this. We can just kind of keep jamming reducers and hopefully we'll hit business along the way. We are on the draw for the 4th of 4 times this league. Opponent is leading on a Delighted Halfling. Okay. We pick up another land. Worst draw in our deck. Okay, so we'll get a Surveil at the end step. Probably play. Interesting question of if we're going to play Ral or if we're going to play Ruby. Opponent has milled a Soul Cauldron and 3 lands, Shifting Woodland. So they could be. It'd be interesting if this was like a Gristlebrand's deck. It's probably not. But maybe. What do they get? They get a young wolf, so it's Yawg. Yeah. All right. So we've got a Thundering Falls. Don't need another Ral. I'll bin that. Past in Flames is kind of bad, but could be worse. I'm going to play the Ruby first here. I mean, yes, they can blow it up. I think they're more likely to have like Fatal Push than like Artifact or Enchantment Destruction. And we need probably ideally like a draw 2. By draw 2, I mean either Reckless Impulse or Rents Resolve. Mortuary, good, it's tap land. Rather see that. They could have like Yawg. I think we'll probably not get 2 turns. I think we'll probably get 1 turn here though. Piff's not bad as a pickup, because if I can find like a little bit more business, it does let me like loop several pieces of business in hopes of flipping Ral. Maybe if their hand is bad, we get 2 turns. Another Delighted Halfling is not exactly inspiring. Cord for 1. Haywire might blow up our Ruby. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so this does mean that we'll get another turn though, because I don't think that's a hand that really like kills us. So we'll turn. We can get a mountain, and I'm just gonna jam a Ral. See what they do. Again, they could certainly have Fatal Push. But like I have another Ral, so. Yawg. Oh, Hapatra. That's not so scary. Okay, okay. Good. So far, so good. Another Ral. We've drawn the 4th Ral. Okay. So I can Flame first, probably. Yeah, I think I like Flame first. We'll draw 2, hit a creature for 5. So we'll draw, and I guess I can kill the Hapatra, or I can kill the spawn. Maybe I'll kill the spawn. Do I want to flip this Ral? Probably not, but maybe. On the flip. So if I flip the Ral, I plus it, I ritual, it's probably a little bit safer. And then I can get like a second Ral. Okay, yeah, I will flip. Plus this. Heretic. So now I have a couple choices. I could Piff, but then what do I have following Piff? Just a Pyretic? So that's not that good. I think better is Preordain and try to find another ritual. Okay, yeah, both of these are good. So we'll go top, top. So we could, yeah, we have to Reckless Impulse first, because Ral Reckless Impulse runs us out of, like, good colors of mana. And now we have to Desperate. So we still are just out of good colors of mana. But now we have Piff with 2 rituals in the yard. Do they have Endurance? I mean, they've got the main deck Endurance. Alright, fine. That's fine. I think that's a one of usually. So we'll pass. Ral will die to their attack. Yeah, so Ral died to the attack. We do get another turn here at least. We can like preordain. Maybe we get 2 turns. We're 11, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're bringing their wolf back. So 9, 10. They have 10 damage. They have a grist, sure. They've got 11 damage. We could like kill the endurance, which represents the most damage. I think it's unlikely that we would live if we tried, but sometimes sometimes you can try. I guess I could Ral, Flame, kill endurance. Grist can kill my Ral. They have 1 more card. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll try it. The other option is I preordain first. If I preordain first, I have to hit. I could hit land. I could hit Morphos. If I hit Ritual, I could try to go off. On the other hand, if I flame first, I could still hit land. And it's, yeah, okay. So if I hit land, we maybe get a chance. It would have to be land. The other option is I impulse now. Try and hit Ritual land or something. If I hit Ritual land, maybe I can get there. I think I like Preordain best. It's kind of the same deal. I need to be hitting some mix of things that do things either way. No, I can't flip him yet. Okay, that's great. So that's top. Now I Morphos. Fails, won the flip again. So now I'm winning the flip when I can't afford to flip him yet. So no. We'll add red and blue. Now we have Desperate. So we are in fact pretty desperate here. Won the flip again. Come on, this is not when I need the flips. Reckless Impulse. Lost that flip, okay. We hit a Ren's Resolve and a Wooded Foothills. Wooded Foothills is land, so that's okay. Ral is one of our spells. Get Mountain here. Now if I Ren's Resolve, I can hold Priority Flame, and then that is 6 spells, so if I flip the Ral with either of these, that's good. We'll draw 2, and then deal 5 to a creature. We can kill the... They're not really going to be able to bring the endurance back. I'll kill the endurance. It's the most damage if for some reason things go sideways and we have to try and live. Okay, so I will flip. Lost the flip. That happens. So now we can -8 the Ral. Did we hit mana? We did. Okay. So then they scoop it up. All right, so we are up a game over Yawgmoth after certainly something of a game 1. So what do I want against them? Silence is actually kind of okay because it shuts down any sort of chord shenanigans. Flood Maw, yeah, I mean, they could certainly have like hate pieces. I think I'll split the difference. 2 and 2, trim a flame, trim a piff. trim, strike it rich, and trim maybe like, no, I don't want to trim a preordain. Could trim a wish. That's okay. Yeah, we could run like this. Yeah, Silence and Flood Maw are both like kind of okay. I mean, they definitely can have like hate permanents, but also they rely on like Cord for endurance or yeah, like Cord for Hayrarmite, stuff like that more. Even post board. Gonna mulligan this, no lands, can't keep it. This is a lot better. Question here is, what do I send back? I think I actually probably send back the Past and Flames. Past and Flames is like good, but I think it's the worst card there. I want 2 reducers. I'm expecting 1 to get answered. Ritual is important, and then Flame is a little bit of card draw, which I think is important. So we could Surveil 1, Ruby 2, although maybe not, depending on what they have. They're passing on 1. They did mull to 5. So, oh, whoops! I meant to play the Thundering Falls. I saw a blue-red land, and I guess we'll get to Surveil more. So they're surveilling with Mortuary. And what do they have? Okay, Rumble's not that scary. They hit a Damping Sphere though, so yeah, and they keep that. So they sent away an Endurance. Next turn, they're certainly going to play Sphere. So our Flame is going to have to probably be reserved for dealing with that. We've got Parlor. We need to find a 3rd land. Impulse is... it's like good, but is it really what we need right now? Honestly, maybe yes, because we need... So I'll need the 3rd land, but I do also need a piece of business for after I'm comboing. And I think I'm more likely to find the 3rd land. Okay, I will actually keep this. Even though it's tapped, their hand is like very slow and they're not doing anything yet. So I'm expecting Damping Sphere, in which case I can like play Ruby, play tap land, and then Flame, or honestly maybe play Ral, play tap land, and then Flame 2 modes end step if the Ral lives. Yeah, we'll play Ral, play tap land, and we'll pass. We could also even think about trying to go off the same turn here where we like Ral and, oh, they just have another Damping Sphere. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that can happen. Go to our turn, Ritual. So I'm gonna cast this, destroy artifact, draw 2 cards. I want to flip Ral. I could start ticking him up. I think that's probably more valuable than... I could also shoot the spawn. I think I will flip him. Okay, we pick up another land. And yeah, okay, I'll shoot these 1 and 1. And I think I'm gonna upkeep Silence them actually. Like stop them from developing. Yeah, I'll upkeep Silence. Keep the Ral and play another turn. And then maybe they play something and then I can like shoot something else with it. Ritual, not what we need. So we plus the Ral. I'm gonna Ren's Resolve. We hit lands. Play a Ruby. And yeah, pass. So this could be a Gigantha game soon. I'm saying that to remind myself. Here I can kill this halfling if I need to, and I might. Just try and like choke them on mana more. All right, so we'll play Mountain. If I Gigantha to hand, that's 3, and then the Gigantha would cost 4. So I cannot do that this turn. So I think I'm going to Reckless Impulse. I fit another Reckless Impulse. I'll pay the 2 for it, because I can still put the Gigantha in hand this turn. Okay, which I will do. And then I have this choice of, am I going to kill the Ral to kill the Halfling? I think I will. They're certainly choked on mana, and if I can just keep them off of mana, I like that for us. Wooded Foothills, we still have a mountain and the Sacred Foundry, so we still have some fetchable lands. Tapped Boggart Bog, Soul Cauldron. Okay, they have no creatures yet. So this is not immediately threatening, but it's not good. It is, in fact, what one would call bad. All right, Wooded Foothills, fetch. Mountain. So I can Ren's Resolve. I could also Flame first. I think I like Ren's Resolve to see what I hit with this, and if I hit something that can continue to chain, then I can make the decision to Flame. Okay, well we didn't do that. So in that case, I think it is Flame, destroy an artifact. We can do a little bit of ritualing, because it's kind of no cost to. We play the Ruby, play the Pyretic, that's going away this turn anyway. Play the Morphos, because why not? We'll go blue, blue. Flood Maw. So I could Flood Maw this Soul Cauldron. Is it worth giving them a fish? Play the Gigantha. I could also just like, they play a creature, they eat something. No, I'll wait a turn. And then probably Flood Maw whatever they end up eating with the Soul Cauldron, or like whatever creature they put into play to use with the Soul Cauldron. They're using it as hate for us, eating a Pyretic, that's fine. Any sort of business and we're in decent shape. They have a Young Wolf, okay. Pick up a Morphos. We can cast that. Go blue and red. Hit a Ral. Interesting, but I think not for this turn because it still just doesn't do anything. I could attack. All right, that's getting played tapped. Yeah, and I don't see a need to Flood Maw yet. And they have the choice of, are they going to chump? Yeah, they do. All right. And we have this Flood Maw for interaction if we need it. It does have activated abilities. So far, there's not really any good activated abilities. Okay, they're courting. Courting for 1. Assume this is get Haywire Might. Let's get another Young Wolf. Okay, that's fine. So then they're going to probably play Yogg here if I had to guess. So if they, let me just check the timing on here. Do I need to bounce a Young Wolf now? And or do I need to bounce a Soul Cauldron now? What does the Soul Cauldron even do? There's no activated abilities here that are relevant. If I bounce a Young Wolf, so let's say I let the Yawg resolve and try to bounce the Yawg, then I get to, okay, so they sack, pay a life, sack a creature, put a, okay, so they sack the one Young Wolf, putting a counter on this Young Wolf. That Young Wolf is going to have a persist trigger. This Young Wolf has no counter on it, but I could respond to the ability, in which case they could sack this to put a counter on that. But if they were to do that, yeah, so I do have a window here. All right, we'll let it happen. Yeah, they can hit us for 3, that's fine. Okay, so, I mean, we can just hold up the Flood Maw for whenever we need it there. Now we have double Flood Maw. I mean, all right, we'll attack. They're probably not going to block, if I had to guess. Okay, so now they're sacking that. But now I have the window to Flood Maw the Yawg. And they can, again, if they sack their other Young Wolf here, it's not coming back. So I think that's okay. And then they probably don't want to chump here. Well, they'll get hit for 5. This damage is actually potentially relevant because it does turn like Wish. If I get one more hit in, it turns Wish like fairly live. And they're probably just going to replay Yawg on their next turn. The 8 of Flame, that's fine. Yeah, they replay Yawg. They're going to hit for 2. Okay, again, we have Flood Maw held up as interaction. Past in Flames, excellent. Okay. Yeah, that's really good. The question here is, how many rituals do I play first? I think I probably play a lot of them. They can't endurance. Agatha's will eat 1 thing. That should hopefully be game. I'll even cast and splice. And I'll save the 1 ritual for like instant speed Ral shenanigans. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we'll piff first. Okay, so now I get to Flood Maw their Yawg again. They Fatal Push their Yawg, eat it with Cauldron. That would be annoying, but I think it doesn't, I don't think that's actually enough, right? Because then they need to be leaving. Okay, they're drawing another card. They're probably trying to draw Endurance, I guess. And then they scoop it up. All right, so we win the match over Yawgmoth. I thought we were gonna lose that, but yeah, we clawed it out barely. 2 Damping Spheres. But yeah, we had double flame. Round number 5. Can we get the 3 and 2? All right, we are we've revealed our Jegantha against an enemy Jegantha deck, and we are again on the draw. 5 for 5 on the draw. I'm going to keep this. This hand is pretty good. I mean, if it's energy and they have like a static prison for the ruby, that's kind of bad, but this hand can win quickly. We have to Thundering Falls on 1, so we're not really going to get to Preordain before this Ruby, probably. Opponent could be Storm. They did mull to 6. Plains. Okay, so looking like energy. They have Guide of Souls. So we go to our turn. Morphos is a good pickup. Thundering Falls. And, I don't think I want a Tarn. Yeah, I'll pass on the Tarn. Assuming next turn I may actually... Well, it depends on what they do. Like, how much am I worried about a Static Prison here? It's a Najani. Okay. That's fine. Like, the assumption when you see a Gigantha is probably that it's energy. So, like... Yeah, So, let me see what I draw for turn, first of all. Desperate Ritual. So, Desperate Ritual makes me a little bit more inclined to wait. I could, like, Preordain, or I could Surveil land, Preordain, try to win next turn in a way that we're not vulnerable to Static Prison. Yeah, I think that's probably better than exposing this Ruby. Surveilling first, because basically I just want to land. Ral. Ooh. Is Ral good enough to take here? I think no. Because nothing they have can hit Ruby at instant speed, really. I'm going to bottom all of these. We did not hit a land. Kind of wish I kept that Tarn now. We can still potentially go at, you know, we could like Ritual, Medallion, Morphos, and try to win in the same turn. A little bit more interested in doing that with the Ren's Resolve, depending on what they have. So they've got another Guide of Souls. And they can hit us for 4. This Sacred Foundry feels like a potential bolt being held up, unless they're, yeah, a creature they would have played at pre-combat for the energy. Yeah, so that smells like bolt. Valakut Awakening. So kind of a land, but not really. Yeah, I think we're just going for it here. So we'll Desperate. Ruby. Morphos. Draw Pyretic, that's good. Pyretic. We can Ren's Resolve. We get a Strike It Rich and another Ruby. Strike It Rich, proving once again to be a card that doesn't do anything. Preordain. Kind of interesting, but the problem is if I miss with this Preordain, we're just dead. So I think I have to Piff. As much as I'd like to get a little bit more value out of this Preordain, we can't risk it there. Desperate Ritual. Ren's Resolve. We hit a Reckless Impulse, another Ruby. We still have the Strike It Rich sitting there. We have 4 mana. So I'm going to Morphos. We'll add blue. Now we can Preordain. I can Preordain out of the yard. So we'll bottom that. I'll hit another land. I don't feel like I need the land. Pyretic is a decent pickup. Preordain's a decent pickup. I expect Ral to not live. I think I will still take it though. And I definitely will take a Ren's Resolve. So if I Ren's Resolve into the Ral, I can probably play enough spells in response. Play the Strike It Rich. Now I can play the Ral. And I can play a Preordain. And then I can respond with double Morphos. Flame, Steam Vents. Steam Vents is mana. Flame is okay. Yeah, I'll keep both. Chalk that in. Surely we would not die to our own Ral from 9 life. Lost the flip. Morphos. And we actually just have it with Wish here anyway, so lost the flip. We've got here. I'm actually going to Wish because it's 2 reducers. Won the flip. All right, so we will flip the Ral. Yeah, and then I can Grape Shot. Got the Ral sitting there if we need it for some reason. Although they pick it up. All right, so we're up a game over Boros. Again, I'm not going to respect if they have like chance or anything like that. It's just going to be 4 Flood Maw. Board out a Past in Flames, board out a Flame of an Ore, Strike It Rich, and a Wish. Yeah, I will board out the Wish. Flame I'm kind of thinking maybe it should be 3 flames main deck, because often I find myself boarding one out. Like, when do I really want all 4 flames? Not often. The other thing that I could think is the Strike It Rich. So I could maybe, honestly, I should probably just cut the Strike It Rich for a land. I feel like I literally never have the Strike It Rich help me, and occasionally I end up in a situation where I'm like, okay, I need a land. So maybe reducing games where there's screw, but with 17 land for Preordain, look, I'm in okay shape, but maybe one more land. And then I don't need to be like cantripping for land in general. Yeah, Strike It Rich is probably going to turn into a land after this. It just consistently does nothing. I've played like, I don't know, several leagues, and this has been useless in every single one. Literally, it has never sped me up. I don't think. And maybe, actually, no. Was it useful earlier here? It might have been as like a spell that gets cast twice. It's very rarely useful. I mean, someone maybe has checked their videos and they're like, no, that one time you used Strike It Rich and it won you the game. I hate this card. It's a terrible card. I could think about going down. No, I don't think I want to go down another flame. I think Wish is probably the cut. Yeah. It's like I'm not really going for Wish unless I'm trying to win specifically on that turn. I don't have like a Brotherhood's End or anything. Mind Collapse is more a same turn thing. Galvanic Relay is not likely to be relevant here. It's not like they're going to eat our 2 wishes with Ragavan. Surely not. Alright, so we'll reveal our Gigantha. This hand is like okay. I'm not like super excited about it, but it could be worse. We have the interesting option of, do we want to preordain on 1, or are we... Yeah, I'm gonna keep. I think I do want to preordain on 1. I need the velocity, especially given that they're gonna have some sort of like immediate threat. Ritual's not a bad pickup, because now I'm really just looking for a reducer. Get a Steam Vents, shock it in, preordain. Don't want these. I mean, Morphos is good, but I can't really afford it right now. Another guide. Okay, no follow-up threat. That's good. So what am I reading this as? What would they have kept this hand for if it doesn't do anything on 1, doesn't do anything on 2? It's possible it's like a turn, it's like a Damping Sphere next turn. That's possible. Flame is a good pickup if that is the case. If they play a Damping Sphere, they probably don't also have Creature and Damping Sphere, given they probably don't have another land because they played this Surveil land. If they had a Damping Sphere, they would have played it. With that in mind, I'm interested in fetching to thin, increase our chances of hitting a reducer, and then let's Reckless Impulse. Oh, there's a flame there. It's not a reducer. We can like Mire fetch and then like use this as removal next turn. They hit for 2. Okay, Mire. We have 7 in hand. So the question is, what do I want to do with this flame? I could kill a Guide of Souls, which is honestly tempting. It's like, otherwise I'm gonna have to discard 2 cards, and I like my hand kind of a lot, right? I mean, maybe I'd cycle. Would I cycle here? Yeah, maybe I bin the mountain. This also feels like they had a Damping Sphere, but then they didn't want to run it into our flame. I kind of want to kill a Guide of Souls. Yeah, I'm gonna kill a Guide. Like, okay, yeah, I could loot away the mountain and maybe one of the cards I draw, but I think if I'm expecting hate to come down next turn, I think I want to slow the game as much as possible, which means getting rid of their creature. I'm almost like 99% expecting a damp. I guess it could be like a Dranith or something like that too. The ring. That's totally fine. We can beat that. Then this is raising the question of what did they keep this hand for? Maybe it's surgical? Do they have a surgical? So I could impulse. I could ritual impulse, and if I miss, then I can flame myself. I could just flame on end step. I could Morphos flame on end step. Lots of options. If I ritual and hit a reducer, or if I impulse and hit a reducer, I have ritual reducer, ritual Morphos, Piff, and we're going off. There are 8 reducers. I think I'm very likely to win this if we hit a reducer. If I miss, I do still have like ritual Morphos Flame if I had to on the end step. So I think I'm going to impulse. Should have done this before playing a land. We hit a ruby. Okay, and we hit a ritual, so that's excellent. So we will ritual, play the ruby, ritual, ritual, Friends Resolve, hit a Piff, Morphos. I'll add blue and red here. The question is, do I want to flame first? I can't actually, because otherwise my Piff would be in trouble. Okay, can't play that either. So I'll go down to 1 here with the Piff. They could have surgical. They don't use it though, so I'm going to guess that they don't. So we have Pyretic, another Pyretic. Now we note that we need to win with the ring here, which again we can certainly do. Blue with the Morphos. Desperate. We will preordain. Bottom that. I'll top a Valakut Awakening. There's a decent chance I play that. We have a bunch of draw twos now. Reckless Impulse. Ral, perfect. That's what we need. So we've got another Reckless Impulse we could play. Hopefully flip the Ral here. Lost the flip. We can do Flame. We could do another Reckless Impulse or Ren's Resolve. I'll do another Ren's Resolve. I might actually hold priority and also Valakut Awakening. I don't know why I need to hold priority for that. I don't. Lost the flip. I'll put all three of these on the bottom. I don't think I need them. Another Ral. That's okay. Always tails. On the flip. Yes. Good. The resolve happens. We have more rituals to play. I'm going to play them now so I don't get confused with the Ral alt. Play this resolve for the same reason. We hit Wish, which is good. I'm going to use this Ral alt first. So there's Wish, Preordained Flame, some rubies. -8. Got Morphos. Go red, red. Or actually, no. We'll go blue, red. Another Desperate for free. Got a Flood Maw for free. Bounce the Guide. We've got the Wish, although I'm going to play a Ruby first. Saves a mana. Well, nets a loss of 1 mana overall, but it doesn't really matter. We're just looping at this point. Are any of the rest of these free? Oh, that one is perfect. That is not free, so now I can play a Ral. 9 flips, should be totally fine. Famous last words. Won the flip. All right, never in doubt. Ral with 28 counters on him. So the impulse happens. We hit a Desperate Ritual. That's good. We hit a Wish. So I'm going to silence my opponent once I make another mana here. We'll go white and blue. Silence. In case. There's no reason not to, really. -8. 3 cards left in the library. We've got a free Metamorphose, which will take us down to 2. You can add red, blue. We can then play this Thassa's Oracle. And that's going to be the game. Look it. There we go. All right, so we ended up 3-2. Let's take a look back at the deck list. So, what did I think about this list? Strike It Rich is going to be gone next time you see me play this deck. This card doesn't do anything. It's terrible. Flame, 4 Flame is sometimes really good. Sometimes it's a little bit clunky. Debating trimming to 3, but I'm not sure. What do I want over the Strike It Rich? Probably a land. What do I like about the sideboard? Yeah, I think the sideboard is pretty good. It's just a question of how are we beating like stack based. No, it's not even that. It's just, yeah, I mean, there's potentially like very multi-purpose answers. Sometimes we want Flood and Silence in the same matchup, which can get a little bit awkward as far as numbers to bring in without diluting the deck too much. I think Preordain is very good. I would play Preordain. I would recommend Preordain. Feels like there was a little bit more hate floating around. So maybe hate on a little bit of an uptick. Something to be mindful of. I'm gonna maybe think twice about... I would maybe think twice about taking this to a tournament like this weekend. But we'll see. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Do you play Preordain or not? I feel like not many people do, but I think it's really good. Yeah, take care. Until next time, keep comboing. Yeah, bye everyone.